Alright, hello and welcome y'all. I'm here to show you how to make a level map, I guess. In this case, map page. So basically it shows all the levels, and the way I named it. I also use this as a marketing or market page for one coffee at a time. Pretty much the same thing, but this is a bit more refined on this one. That was like the first uses of it. So basically what this one specifically is that it will organize buttons, which are these resources here, which have certain things attached to them. I make a resource and have the map attached to them as well. Similar to how the food buttons, the market buttons for the items and food for one coffee at a time. You would have seen this if you've seen those videos. Have got like all these things features too. And you can use these features to activate certain parts, especially when the button is pushed. And here's the level button specifically. It's got all your stuff. So you just make a generalized button, make sure everything fits and all that. It has its own code as well. So basically we have to make sure it tells it to set up all this. So update button will update display. Fixing all anything that has to be written down, like over here, how it's got the names. That's basically to put the name down. And then so this is what it does, like, when it first appears. So remember that function. And this here is like what it does after it's been pushed on. So yeah, and this one's to tell it to open that scene up. This is the specific line to change the scene to whatever's linked to the map as well, if you want to do scene change. And then all this tells the game what features to change, because it is update. Because this game measures use universal strip, it has to be updated. It can't just be resetted. Like if it's within within the scene itself, then it's fine. But if it's like a universal thing like this, you have to change the numbers, because otherwise it'll carry over. So that's something interesting to remember whenever you're doing general stuff. I mean, I could have made that better, but what I got it to the point is now it works. Just like I did in the market. A bit more sloppy than this, but it works. And also I was doing it a different way, but then I had to band-aid it, so then it worked in the proper way. So basically how we load, this also helps you load resources into the game as well. So we're basically using resources over here, and we have to call this folder so that it works when it's exported. Otherwise it won't, and it's a pain in the ass. That would be nice to know sometimes. And then we preload everything with this, like the button, we're not on the right one. I was thinking, yeah, that looks well. So on here we have a point where that grid goes to, and then we have the grid container itself, what's set to how many columns there is. So you have all those pre-settings done, so you want to have that. And it's also easier to be like, add this to the game. So we also have that. That's what this is. The grid container, and the grid container is also here. So the new grid, where are you, little bugger? So new grid container becomes this once it gets deleted and moved. Yeah. And we also have a second one here for variable levels and level list. Page list of pages is very important as well, and this as well. So this creates so basically how your pages are organized is that you create another array within an array. So this is how to automate this process. I mean, you can always do it by manually, but this is a good way of automating it. That's what I want to do for the market, was so I can add an item within this folder, and then boom, it's right there. Don't have to think about it, don't have to do anything else. Sometimes you want less work for later. So basically this is the page that goes in the page list, but then gets the buttons that goes into this page. That makes sense. So basically, first folder has the pages itself, and then within those folders it contains the information of what, like, you know, map 1, 2, and 3, 4, whatever's on that first page, second page, and third page, if that makes sense. So this is the parent page of the buttons itself, and this one here is the parent of all of the pages themselves. If that makes sense. That's how we're flowing around here. And we want all these numbers down here too. Get page list. So that's the first thing it does. It goes and gets all this ready. So it goes in load resource loader dot this dictionary. So it goes and gets all that shit. I mean, why is that even there for? If I could just do that. Don't ask questions why that's there. But I mean, this one is the one you should look at and listen to. Okay, I don't know why. I'm showing you ghost code. That is always fun, isn't it? Just if you wind that down and stuff like I'm sorry. So this is like the important code. So basically, this is the first thing we want to do. We want to separate from the ready function. Maybe in case, especially with the market one, I have to send it off at least one more time out of ready. So maybe set it as a function. Because if you use it, it's basically setting up a page. So if you use it as a page list for like a market, or you know, when you're shopping your items, like I did for one coffee at a time, then yeah, you want this to be separated. Even for your levels too, but this is the main setup. So if you like unlock levels over time, you definitely want this separated, so then you can update the list. And okay, so the file name is what's in this array here, so it will go get, I mean that's a bit misleading, but that will go get this right here. Just this. Nothing else. Nothing within it, and nothing more. And then it will appeal. So we'll appeal that. And we'll do the file. So we'll do this name over here. If you wanted to, I guess I did do it here. So basically we'll appeal that name. So then you also want to go for a sort if you're using numbers like this. Or like I did for one coffee at a time, was separate the, so if I had different types of honey, I want the honey to stick together, and same with the meat and veg, especially became really helpful for that. Same with flour too, because I had two different flour that I want kept together. There was a lot like in the like flakes, so basically they're like oats, and I wanted to keep them together. So there's a lot of things that you want to keep together that, you know, don't have the same name unless I make it strange, you know. So basically this one is, I mean, local to this script as well, so apparently tells me the C# can't do it, but basically you do the function within here. You can always have the function separated if you're feeling like you don't want to have that, so you could have it down here separated like that. Ghost code again. So now A is this bugger right here, and B is this one right here, but that's just, you know, the first one to the second one, and then you then access this name. So we're ordering it by this name. Yeah. Oh, we also did this for recipes too, available recipes based on the thing, because that's why this was available recipes. If the unlocking spells pass, else. So it basically adds it in there. That might become a problem if, you know, if they weren't all available. Although maybe not. And then it peels it into available level lists. So if you have like a unlock system, you need available to be separated. Hence why it is separated as a separate array. And here this one's a bit more. This is where the complicated shit happens. This is the page forming. This is making your big boy, making your pages. This just makes the background shit, but this is when we sort out the background stuff into your proper pages, you know. After we sorted out the button, after we sort out the map, it goes time to go make a new page. Then it sorts out more buttons, makes a new page, sorts out more buttons. That's basically the order of it. So it goes here. So for this variable recipe size, so this one is going through all the ones within the thing, within that button this way, and then it goes and kidnaps that. It keeps going, and then if it's 0, then it appeals a new page. If it makes it to 5, I find that it has to be under that slot, otherwise you run the other problems that I ran into. So we say it has to be greater than 5, and then it appeals, so it adds that item. Yeah, I think that one was item. Yeah, it adds that item to that page, and then it continues on. Else, it adds the item still to the page, and then creates a new page, and then does the same thing over again, adding items to that page, and then creating a brand new page when that page list is full. So basically, new page. So whenever you change pages with the arrows, it will therefore delete the old page. So it would delete this and create a new create a new one. So it will go get a new grid dot instance dot add it as a child. So then it will be the child. So it'll be in the white spot. And make sure it adds, and that's make sure it equals the white spot, and then that's to make sure it equals to that now this grid equals to the new grid, which does work surprisingly. And then we go down to display of the page. So this is the same bloody thing. I don't know why it's the same bloody thing, but yeah. Oh no, this is actually I don't know why it's the same thing actually. It kind of is. God, I don't realize how rugged it was. Yeah, it does do the same thing again. It creates a new grid. New level grid. It's even different naming. I don't know why it's on that, but you know, for some reason it is. I wasn't paying attention enough to it. And then current page equals whatever is the next page within the pages list. So the list of the parent folders, or the parents of the levels. I just realized I have no water. No water. The worst sin of them all. And then you go down here. So current array equals dot array dot page. So this goes into the parent page, and then it goes through all those items within the page where it holds all the babies, all this information here, and then it adds it all to adds it. It then adds it as display. Yep. Okay. Loads a bit like that. And then we send all the information to set up the button. So this is to set up the button. Now we're finally getting up to the button itself. Setting up the buttons. How the hell did I figure this out? I don't know. I did this all by myself. I really actually got any help doing this. I just realized that too. I'm kind of proud of thinking about it, even if it's kind of a mess when I copied over. This is why I was like, yeah, I'm not copying this thing over. I'm not trying this again. I don't even know how I did it the first time. I guess it did take me a little while to actually do it. Because I think it was in One Coffee at a Time devlog where it talks about this a bit more at the beginning too. But that was like older code. And then if it doesn't equal the size of the array, it will therefore get the button, make a new button, and add it to this bugger here. So add as a child, and then that's because that's a thing to organize it. It will be organized already, and then the level type equals item list. Don't know how. Yeah, I don't know how important that one is, but it's there. But then we go into update button. But I think that is reasonably important, isn't it? Yeah. Because it bings, actually, that's the one that bings over all the information. So that one is very important. So basically, what it does is equals that level type, makes the button equal that level type, and then tells the button to then update. There we go. That's what it does. Actually, is very important. And this is how you do the arrows. They're a bit rough at the moment, but arrows aren't perfect at the moment. But I feel like you might as well get shown how to do the page. If you want to go through, copy that code or something. I'll show you how it works now. And also, be all sad in the corner of the water. This is one copy, not one copy, this is Bush Dog as well. You can get this on itch and demo on Steam. It'll be coming out soon, so it'll be exciting. I guess if it's after the year comes out, then maybe you should check, you know. So what we're going to do here is maps. So now, look at this. So it's all the maps set up. So they also have an image that comes through, and you know, this is all the naming, everything like that. That's the main name, the order in the main name as well. Then I'll press the back button, and you see we can go through all the different pages. We do sometimes have a minor problem with you're going from the back to the front, but I think that is just that's probably a number thing more or less than anything else. Sometimes the numbers are just like wild rascals like that, you know, and all that, and then you can just click on the map, go straight to the map, and boom, hit reset all everything like that. Hopefully I'll help you building pages, self-building pages. Why not, you know? That's what you need in life, self-building pages. So thank you all for watching. Look at these sheep. They're bloody staring me down. I will stare them down. Or I go into ready pounce mode. Yeah. So yeah, I hope you all enjoy. Thank you for watching and have a nice day. See you all next time. Goodbye.